Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Have you ever known someone who was obsessed with hate? If not personally, you've probably heard of radical Muslim groups in various areas like Nigeria, Indonesia, and the Middle East who kidnap and kill Christians and burn their homes. Imagine you lived in one of these countries and God told you to go to a well-known radical leader. What would you do? A similar situation comes up in Acts 9. God called a man named Ananias in a vision. I love his response. "Here I am, Lord." He was ready and waiting for whatever God had for him to do. The Lord gave him specific instructions. Go to Straight Street to Judas's house and ask for Saul of Tarsus. Then God shared something interesting. He said, in a vision, he has seen a man named Ananias come and place his hands on him to restore his sight. The Lord had already given Saul a specific vision of a man named Ananias. So no one else could do it. God did not have a plan B. He knew Ananias would obey. But Ananias hesitated. You could almost hear what's running through his mind. Saul? The Saul? The one who wants to wipe Christians off the face of the earth? You'd think it'd be wiser to avoid a guy who came here to kill you. But Ananias had heard right. Saul of Tarsus. Still, Ananias tried to reason with God. Lord, I've heard about this guy. He's done some terrible things to Jerusalem believers. He's come here with authority from the chief priest to arrest all the Christians he can find. God patiently listened to Ananias' fears. Then he told him to do it anyway. Why? Because God had a different perspective of the whole situation. After all, he knows what happened to Saul on the way there, and he knows what Saul will become. Ananias can only see what Saul has been. He had no way of knowing what God was up to. So God told him. He said in verses 15 and 16, "Go, this man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles, and to their kings and to the people of Israel. I will show him how much he must suffer for my name." Without another word, Ananias obeyed. Obedience against all common sense. Could we do that? What if God calls us to go to the next cubicle and put our arm around someone who might be hurting, or who might be having a hard day? Or go next door and introduce ourselves to a neighbor who's been there for 20 years and never said a word to you? Or, well, you know what God's called you to do that seems a little out of the ordinary, illogical, or against your better judgment. Will you do it? Remember, your perspective in any situation differs completely from God's perspective. There's so much we don't know, and He does. Ananias said, "Lord, I've heard," but God said, "Go." God's plan for the future of Christianity and for Saul himself was way beyond anything Ananias or Saul could have imagined. But Ananias had to overcome his fear and obey. God had prepared Saul ahead of time, and instead of the arrogant persecutor that Ananias expected, he found a humble, blind man praying and open to what the Lord had to say to him through Ananias. So obey. When God calls or opens a door of opportunity, just obey. God has a plan, and you are part of it.
As always, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to share a treasure, support this ministry, or get Carla to speak at an event, please contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.